Hello, and welcome to Global Finance Desk. We'll explore practical ideas to help you. I'm glad you're here. Let's learn together.
Somewhere near you right now, a storage unit is being paid for by someone who hasn't opened it in months. A vending machine is making another sale in a hallway nobody notices. A dumpster is sitting behind a restaurant waiting to be emptied. And somewhere, a machine is being repaired because a factory can't afford for it to stop. None of these things look like the economy, but they are. There's a strange pattern connecting all of them. They don't need millions of followers. They don't need to go viral. They don't even need customers thinking about them every day. They simply need to keep solving a problem that keeps coming back. Because here's what making money while you sleep actually means. It doesn't mean the owner does nothing. It means the owner isn't necessarily being paid for every minute they work. They're being paid because something they own, operate, or control keeps solving the same problem. Let's call this the background economy. It isn't hidden because anyone is trying to hide it. It's hidden because we're trained to notice what's new. The restaurant that just opened, the app everyone is talking about, the startup raising millions, the brand appearing everywhere on social media. But underneath all that attention is another economy, a quieter one, built around things people need whether they're paying attention or not. And once you start looking for it, you see it everywhere.
A laundromat looks simple. Machines, water, electricity, dirty clothes. But the interesting part isn't the washing. It's the economics. The customer doesn't need to buy the machine. They only need access to it for an hour. So the same physical asset can serve transaction after transaction over its useful life. The business isn't really selling a washing machine. It's selling repeated access to one. And that idea appears again and again.
2. Vending machines. A vending machine takes the same principle and removes even more human involvement. No cashier, no salesperson, no appointment. The machine simply needs to be where demand already exists. Put it somewhere nobody walks, and the machine may be almost worthless. Put it somewhere with constant foot traffic, and the exact same machine becomes a revenue-producing asset. The machine didn't change, the location did. And that's an early clue about the background economy. Sometimes the value isn't in what you own, it's in where you put it. 3. Parking lots. Parking lot is even stranger. The product is basically empty space. But in the right location, empty space becomes scarce. People aren't buying the land. They're buying temporary access to it. And the same piece of land can be monetized again and again. One asset, repeated transactions. No new piece of land needs to be created every time someone parks. An asset doesn't have to be sold to produce revenue. Sometimes it just needs to be used repeatedly.
4. Self-storage. Now, stretch that same idea from minutes to months. Self-storage. Someone moves, a business accumulates inventory, a family downsizes. Life creates a simple problem. There isn't enough space, so they rent a box. Then another month passes, then another. The storage unit doesn't need to be manufactured again. It simply stays occupied. The economics come from keeping an existing asset useful. Revenue can come from utilization, not just production. 5. Automated car washes. An automated car wash takes that idea further. Customer arrives, the system performs a standardized process, the customer leaves. Then another arrives. The business doesn't need to reinvent the service every time. It needs functioning equipment, maintenance, a good location, and enough demand. That's it. It sounds boring, but repeatability is valuable. If a process can be standardized, the business can serve more customers without every transaction requiring the owner's direct involvement. Now, we move from convenience to something even stronger, necessity. 6. Pest control. Nobody thinks about pest control when everything is fine. Then, something moves inside the wall. Suddenly, the problem has a price. And the customer doesn't need to be convinced that the problem exists. They already know. Many pest control businesses turn that problem into recurring service. The company schedules visits. The customer doesn't have to remember.
The relationship becomes routine. The business isn't creating demand from nothing. It's responding to a problem that already exists, and recurring problems can create recurring revenue. 7. Commercial cleaning. Offices don't become dirty once. Restaurants don't produce waste once. Hospitals don't need cleaning once. The problem regenerates. And when a problem regenerates, a business can build a recurring service around it. A cleaning company may work before employees arrive, when nobody is watching. That's not necessarily a weakness. It's the product. The customer isn't paying to watch someone clean. They're paying to not have to think about cleaning.
Now consider garbage. Every household creates it. Every restaurant creates it. Every office creates it. Construction projects generate it. Nobody needs to be persuaded to produce waste. The demand already exists. The question is simply, who gets paid to make it disappear? This is one of the deepest ideas in the entire category. The strongest demand isn't always demand you have to create. Sometimes it's already sitting outside the door. 9. Commercial laundry. Hotels, restaurants, hospitals, gyms, they can generate enormous quantities of laundry, and they don't want employees spending their time processing it. So another business specializes in the problem. The interesting part isn't laundry, it's specialization. When a company performs the same repetitive task for many customers, it can build equipment, processes, staff, and logistics specifically around that task. Boring work can become valuable when it is performed repeatedly and efficiently.
Now consider a construction company that needs a machine for 3 days. Buying the equipment might make no sense. They don't need ownership, they need access. So someone else owns the machine and rents it repeatedly. Generator serves one customer, then another. Trailer does the same. A lift does the same. The asset doesn't disappear after one transaction. It keeps working. And suddenly, ownership means something different. An asset isn't only something you own. It can be something that produces access fees.
Storage, waste, cleaning, maintenance, parking, equipment, security, access, software, compliance. They look completely different, but underneath, they're connected by the same economic logic. They solve problems that don't disappear. They monetize assets that can be used repeatedly. And they often turn one transaction into a relationship, a contract, a rental, or a recurring service. That's what making money while you sleep actually means. It doesn't mean effortless money. Every serious business still requires capital, maintenance, employees, management, risk, and judgment. The difference is that the owner isn't necessarily selling hours. They're building a system that can repeatedly turn an asset, service, location, or relationship into revenue.
Welcome to your financial future. Together we can build your fund. Let's track your progress. Subscribe now and let's get started. Just click the button today.